Well, Mason Mount expected at Carrington today, as we promised you that he is going to undergo his medical at Carrington today, and obviously several sources have gone ahead to confirm it. Fabrizio Romano, Laurie Whitwell is a United correspondent for the Athletic, has gone ahead to confirm it, and obviously has gone ahead to throw in more details concerning Mason Mount to Man United and so on and so forth. Good morning. How is your Monday? First Monday of the month of July, and I think the Lord God is giving you the best that you guys deserve, and you are enjoying yourself to the fullest. Not so? So continue to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily as we talk. United desperate to see to it that they see off the likes of Anton Martial, right? To see the likes of Anton Martial, Scott Mctominay, and Harry Maguire off their ladder this summer, and the goalkeeper that Erik ten Hag was really interested in to come in as a second choice goalkeeper after pursuing the deal of Onana maybe this week. Feyenoord have told them the goalkeeper is not for sale. That is something bad that you wouldn't like to see happen to us at Man United because of the current goalkeeping situation being in a total mess. Now, let's start off with Mason Mount. Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead and obviously told us the following, that Mason Mount will undergo medical tests on Monday, and then he's finally gonna sign a 5-year contract as new Man United player, contract until June 2028. It will also include an option to extend until 2029. £55 million plus £5 million of add-ons to Chelsea. Statement this week. Now, he's expected to be at Man United today, and obviously he's going to sign a contract of that duration. Even Laurie Whitwell has gone ahead to confirm to us that Mason Mount medical in Manchester on Monday. Erik ten Hag was fully behind the move. He wanted to sign Mason Mount because of his technique on the ball, but also importantly his application of it. That is what we are getting from the side known as Laurie Whitwell. But Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead to hint on something important about the contract. The contract, most of us thought that it's going to end in 2028, but it looks like there is an additional further year, meaning that he's going to sign a contract of 6 years, and he's happy to put pen to paper, and United are doing this to see to it that maybe if he really feels like he wants to leave Man United, then they still have lots of time to see to it that they can convince him to stay or sell him and obviously get back their money. The resale value is still there provided he hits the ground running, but I think he would like to really spend the next 6 years of his career at Man United until he's 30 years of age. And we anticipate that Ten Hag is going to get the best player out of him, as we really believe he has been following him for a very long time. As well, Whitwell was going to let you know that he loved him because of his technique and how he really applies it onto the ball. He is a manager that is so much picky when it comes to signing players. That's it. Ten Hag is a picky manager, especially when it comes to signing these players. He's so much picky that he takes a lot of time and he pays a lot of attention to detail to make a decision on who is going to really sign. You know, and my surprise was us not going in for Ruben Neves. That's it. Because when you look at Ruben Neves, we all knew that he was a very good player, but Ten Hag never fancied him. That's it. And it shows you that his levels are at those of Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta, and maybe Jurgen Klopp, because all of them wanted Declan Rice, all of them wanted Mason Mount. So it shows you that there is something special maybe in Mason Mount that we haven't seen, that Erik ten Hag is yet to trigger out of the player. And maybe there is some fire burning in the belly of Mason Mount that has not yet gone ahead to be exhaled out of himself, and Ten Hag believes he's going to make him a good player. And when you look at managers like Erik ten Hag, who are really good at developing players, they can look at a player and understand, if at all I really manage this player, I can turn him into a world-class player, as he can easily note what is really lacking in his game. And at Mason Mount, you look at him and obviously you feel pity for him, because Frank Lampard was not all good at improving players. Thomas Tuchel is a manager I don't really rate highly, though people rate him highly, but I don't rate him highly. And I think everything that Mason Mount has gone ahead to become has been his personal talent and work rate. That's it. But for the very first time, he's going to be working under a manager who is good at improving players and can add a little bit more to his talent. And the drawing is clear on the wall that Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to improve Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Look at how Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been playing last season, to an extent that he really dislodged Diego Dallo out of the right back position of Man United. That is one of the miracles that Ten Hag has gone ahead to do. And if at all he has gone ahead to do that to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, what of Mason Mount? I think is going to turn him into a very good player that we really like. But obviously, I'll come out and really tell you that the signing of Mason Mount won't make sense to Man United until we get in a player who can really act as a backup of Casemiro. That's it. That's it. If we don't get in a backup for Casemiro, the signing of Mason Mount to me won't make sense. That's it. And you'll evidence it as we go into the season when the transfer window is closed. That is it. The only thing we should really see happen if at all Ten Hag doesn't get in the CDM is when Casemiro maybe gets an injury towards the end of the transfer window, and then they'll fidget to get in one because they'll know that they are dead. So, if Ten Hag is resting his hopes on Casemiro's not being an injury-prone player, he should understand that for the very first time I saw him not play the game of football for Brazil because of an in-knock they got as he captained his side to go ahead and replay against Senegal, and Brazil was beaten by 4-2. That is it. So, lastly about Mason Mount, Laurie Whitwell has confirmed to us that Manchester United in the summer window talks have been held over Andre Onana, although the search for a new number 9 proven at the top level remains a priority. To me, I think it's no longer a priority because if I told it were, the £60 million for Mason Mount and the 40 or 50 million pounds that we're going to spend on Andre Onana would have gone ahead to be converted through, see to it that we sign in a player that is really world class into that position. But United aren't ready to do such a business. That's why they have prioritized the signing of Mason Mount and who else? Mason Mount and they prioritized the signing of Mason Mount and Andre Onana. And I understand why Ten Hag is doing this, because he knows I bring in Mason Mount, I sell Fred and Scott McTominay. I bring in Andre Onana, I sell Dean Henderson. And if at all he puts that trio onto the market, he can get like 30 or 40 for Harry Maguire. Let's count 40. 30 for Scott McTominay, that is 70. 20 for Dean Henderson, or 25. Almost 100 million pounds. And if at all he does that early enough, he can get money to find himself in a position of signing in a world-class number 9. But we are all targeting Rasmus Højlund, so let's wait and see how that pans out. But United is desperate to really let some players out, and some of the listed players here are as follows. They're talking of Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, and Anton Martial. Let's talk about Harry Maguire, who has been a regular on this channel, and we've gone ahead to conduct very many videos that have really called for the selling of Harry Maguire. And you ask yourself, what is really running in the mind of the board of Man United? Because I understand Ten Hag is going ahead to really issue out a list of players he wants out. But for Harry Maguire, United are really having a very huge date for Harry Maguire to pay for Leicester City. Most people think that if at all they hear a deal that United is going to have to pay 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire, it's not an instant wholesome payment. You might have found that United paid close to 20 million pounds in 2019, 2020 they paid like 10 or 15, you know. So that deal might be spread out for like 6 years, and we all have areas as a club of Man United for the money of those transfers amounting to 365 million pounds. So it shows you that we are really in huge debt, and we need to go ahead and really finance all those transfer deficits. So for Harry Maguire, for any elite club, you cannot keep a player who is earning 200,000 pounds a week when he's not even in the top 5 central defenders at Manchester United. With the number of games when he had to play at Manchester United, most of them he came off the bench. So you cannot keep him at the club. You have to let him out. You have to let him go to see to it that you get in a player who's going to come and compete to fight for the position there, because Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, Victor Lindelof, Luke Shaw, all of those four are ahead of him. Now, why is he in the ilk of earning that amount of money? So, I really understand he deserves to leave, and for me, I think this should be done quickly. Let us not waste time, on players like Harry Maguire, because they aren't going to get any better. The problem as why I cannot fit in the Erik ten Hag system is really natural. You cannot change the natural structure of the player and his abilities like running, because he's a very slow center back. That's it. He's poor at game reading. So he is really not needed at this club, and United are desperate to let him off. And Scott McTominay is one of those whose news is blowing hot and cold. Sometimes they say they want to sell him, then some correspondents come out and indicate United look at him as their young midfielder. But in the entire world football, if you sell Scott McTominay for £30 million, right, you can find yourself in a situation of getting that same amount of money and going to the European market and really get a very good CDM. That's it. There are very many good CDMs you can get at £30 million, because £30 million, it's like 42 million euros. You can get in a very good CDM that can obviously come in through and obviously do the job. Like Sofian Amrabat, at 40 million euros, you get him. So, I wonder why we aren't really dislodging of these players, because I understand we've brought in Mount, then we need to see these players leave. For Anton Martial, I've always told you that I want him to leave, but I don't see him leaving until we sign into centre forwards. That's it. The only way Martial is going to leave is when we sign into centre forwards, and he has a very huge salary attached onto his weekly wage bill. So if he's earning £250,000 a week, which team is going to be able to pay that amount of money? Is that team there? So that leaves us in a situation of maybe starting up the season when these players are still at Man United. And for Anton Martial, at least we'll understand that even if he stays, you'll know that if he keeps fit, which is a very hard thing to believe, you at least know that he's going to play you some good games, And if at all you get in what we call a credible striker, like a number 9, who is going to put you into that ilk of really getting goals, Martial can come in through and obviously act well, because last season he played 21 Premier League games, right? He played 3 UEFA Europa League games. Those are 24 games. Then he played 3, those are 27 in the EFL Cup. FA Cup, he also played some games. So if at all he can average 30 games a season, you can keep him around until Sheikh Jassim Al-Thani comes in through, such that in January we get in a certified number 9, and then you can let Martial go and sell him either for like £10 million and sell him to a club that really needs him. That is it. So I really anticipate that this list should really see itself really get done with, but we are poor at selling and we are poor at buying. So I don't know when these deals are going to be sanctioned by the board and obviously negotiate these terms to it that we see these players get out. And it's very much saddening that we are into the 3rd week of the transfer window since it opened on the 14th of June, and we've only seen youngsters leave the club. Zidane Iqbal to Utrecht, £850,000. Ethan Laird to Birmingham City on a permanent deal. The money was not indicated. So that leaves us in a situation of asking what is happening at Man United. Why aren't these players being moved on? Right? And all those questions go to the board. So that's it. And let's get into the last story that climaxes our second video of the day. We've been told by Football International coming in from Netherlands that Manchester United have been told that Justin Bijlow is not for sale. It is expected that United will still make a serious attempt to buy a goalkeeper. Feyenoord will say no. So Feyenoord is not willing to sell their first choice goalkeeper. That is it. They are not willing to sell their first choice goalkeeper to Manchester United, Bijlo, and that shows you that they're just trying to plot up a trick of Manchester United. They all know that right now his price is £6 million, right? And the only way they're going to find themselves in a situation of making United do the needful and obviously pay more is by telling them the goalkeeper is not for sale. That is it. So United will try to push. In the due course of pushing, the price will be multiplied by 4 to see to it that we pay close to £24 million for this goalkeeper. But he has gone ahead to prove himself on several occasions. Feyenoord and now the Netherlands national team. All the 6 he played in the qualifiers for the World Cup, and he's been one of the best goalkeepers that Netherlands look like are having to date. So United are pushing to get in this goalkeeper, but it depends onto the terms and conditions that they are setting to the goalkeeper. The only way they can see this goalkeeper pushing a deal to come to Man United is when they tell him that you are going to be the first choice goalkeeper. That's it. If he's going to be the first choice goalkeeper, I think he can push for the deal. But second choice, he's going to be playing the Champions League with Feyenoord, comes in at Man United to be a second choice goalkeeper. I think that's going to be a very huge block for him. So guys, your thoughts onto Mason Mount expected at Carrington today are welcome in the comment section below. Tell me your thoughts about United desperately wanting Anton Martial, Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire out. Are those the first 3 players you would first dislodge out of the club of Man United, or you have your own list? If at all you have your own list, you can as well go into the comment section and tell me who do you want to dislodge first before those. And lastly, Bijlo, Feyenoord adamant the player is not for sale. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living true God bless you abundantly. Me out for now. See you later.